The host has arrived.
Oh, kia ora, everybody.
So everything and restarting.
Oh, thanks for turning up. New Zealand for hello. Kia ora, bro. How are we all?
I think it is the TV.
All right.
All right.
You want me to mute them? We can get started.
Hang on.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to mute you
All
all.
right. We're just going to mute so we don't hear the background noise. Sorry, guys. She's pretty chirpy. Houses. Thank you. Not being rude. But if you do have questions, you can just chuck them in the chat. I think, is that right? Have I said that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a chat on the side there somewhere. Just chuck a question in there. Sheridan will endeavour to let me know when they pop up, and we'll go from there. But thank you guys for teeing in. Today's all about a winning streak, and Sheridan and I implemented this this year big time, and it's worked really, really effectively for us because it gave us an achievable goal that happens regularly. So it's about trying to find basically that consistency of winning when life keeps throwing you kind of curveballs like a virus or, you know, a financial challenge. Maybe you've lost your job and all that sort of stuff there. So how are you meant to win when something like that comes into your life? That's probably the key message of what tonight's all about anyway. And we do this every week and every day, and we are going to teach you what works for us really well. But the first part of this whole thing is the ability to find gratitude in what you already have. So whether you have a job or not, you've got your health. You've got to look for everything in your life that you do have, you know. So I find that for me, it's really easy because I had cancer when I was 24. So for everything for me, I'm grateful to be above the ground. Like, it's pretty simple for me. So my whole thing works on gratitude towards my health, being able to breathe, to be able to go through life and meet great people like you, get to train people like you. I used to be a teacher, all that stuff. So I'm grateful every day that my lungs are working, my heart is working, and I get to move. So for me, that's how I look at everything, and I believe that that's how everyone, if you started your day with a bit of gratitude, you would find that the day would start a lot better than, oh, what do I have to get done today? And so the big part of the winning streak starts with a bit of gratitude. And everyone's got something to be happy about, everybody. You just have to think about what it is for you. Now, what makes me happy might not make you happy, but it's irrelevant because it's about me in this situation. And the second part of it is, I believe, is perspective. I believe if you have perspective in your life, then you can go through a lot easier. And my perspective, for example, and I use it a lot, and I often bring it up in a boot camp from time to time, is one of my friends, Chris, is a paraplegic, or quadriplegic, sorry. From chest down, he can't move and all that sort of stuff there. So when I feel pain in my legs or in my body, like a bit of DOMS or lactic acid and stuff like that, I think of it as a gift, not as a pain. I'm like, I celebrate that I can feel that, because he'll never feel that. Again, it's a bit of gratitude, but it's perspective. It's an aggressive perspective, but at the same time, when I'm moaning about something insignificant that he'll never feel, all of a sudden, it's okay. And I hope that makes sense to you guys. But again, you have to find perspective for you. You can't use my mate Chris. You can if you want to, but you'll have something in your life that gives you a bit of perspective.
Something that you've got an emotional connection to, really.
That's it. And just to give you that grounding when things get a bit rough and tumbly, and you can come back to it and go, you know what, it's okay, because I'm a bit better off than that person. You know, it's a shit situation, but I've still got my job. You know, I've got both my parents, or, you know, all that sort of stuff. There's something always around that gives you perspective. And it just helps you go through a bit happier in your day when things are getting a bit tough. But it leads to, this is the winning streak. It all comes down to this. So I'm going to get into it pretty quickly so that we can sort of get you guys set up to it. And we're going to share the screen in a second. But the goal, when you're after a winning streak, it starts with setting goals. Now, people either love setting goals or they don't love setting goals, which is cool. But I'm telling you right now, if you set a goal, it's easier to win if you have a goal. It's hard to win if you don't have a goal, because you just plod through life not winning because you don't have any direction on where you want to actually go.
It's just like if you're playing sport and there was actually no goal to shoot. You know, like if you play basketball, you've got a hoop to try and shoot the ball into.
Yeah.
Otherwise, then what would be the point of basketball?
Exactly right. So setting goals, and the goals, you can break it down into, I reckon there's 4 easy things to talk about. There's your health, which is, we always start with health because without health, everything else is pretty irrelevant, you know. There's health, there's wealth, there's career, and there's relationships. If you just focus on those 4 main areas of your life and set one big powerful goal for each of those, then you're already on your way to having the winning streak happen for you. So what we're going to do, we're going to break down these goals into little sections in a second. And we're going to start with the health goal, because I believe that that's the primary one that everybody should start with, because without health, you know, you're lying on a bed somewhere and it's irrelevant if you're wealthy or not, because you could not be around to spend your money. So without health and prioritizing health in our life, what's the point? So we're going to start there and make it nice and easy. How we look at it as, we set a goal. I set a goal. I'll use my one. I set a goal at the start of the year to be process-free with food from since January 1st and up until, how many days was it? It was 3 months anyway, straight. 84 days of process-free straight through. So that was my goal, every day to do process-free. And so I started at the start, went all the way through and achieved my goal. But if I said to you, cool, 3 months, you see this massive chunk of days and weeks and stuff like that. So what we realized we needed to do is to tick that goal off of 3 months, is I had to chunk it back, and we made it achievable pretty much. And we break it into 7-day blocks. So more or less you start with a 7-day win. So can you share that screen? Sorry.
It is.
Oh, cool. Awesome. You can see up on the screen there, nice and easy. You start with 7 days, and then at the end of the 7 days, you celebrate. So everyone can commit to 7 days because it's a week. Excitement and motivation gets you through 7 days. You don't need anyone else to teach you. If you start, I want to do this, usually you'll chip through the first 2 weeks, and then usually about week 3 it gets a bit tricky. So what we do in 7 days is we tick each day off. Every day we go into our diaries and we tick them off, we tick them off, we tick them off.
And the reason that action there is so important, because again, you're winning on the day.
Yep.
And you're celebrating on the day. So it reinforces the habit. Because so often people do such big goals, which is sensational, but you know, I'm gonna eat no sugar for a whole year. Well, if you only make 364 days out of 365, you failed. So let's bring the winning back quicker. Let's win sooner so that we can reinforce it and create these really good habits.
Yeah, we're trying to compound habits. Sorry,
because habits don't, you don't form a habit in 21 or 30 days. You form a habit instantly. It's not a process of, oh, you hit 21 days and then there's a habit. It's whatever you repetitively do. So you winning is just reinforcing that.
Yeah, easy. And so what happens is we go through 7 days. So say we started on Monday. We never say to start on Monday. We say start on a Wednesday, because if you start on a Monday, you'd usually tank out by Friday and the weekend ruins you. So start on a Wednesday.
Start right away.
Yeah. So the key is just to get going, and that is your new day. That's day one for you. So anyway, so 7 days on, when we hit the 7 days, the key here is to celebrate. And you have to celebrate like crazy because you made it to 7 days. That's your goal. Every day for 7 days, it's a goal. Now, the celebration has to be as goofy as you can possibly make it to make you laugh, to make you happy. Now, we're going to show you our silly little dances that we do when we celebrate. Mine's a little bit inappropriate. I do apologize, but I'm going to go with it because it's for the sake of this. Are you ready? Go. And that's the goal. You celebrate, and it's got to make you laugh. It's got to make you go, what are those people doing? And it doesn't matter where you are. You could be in a cafe. You could be wherever it is that you are at the moment. The moment you tick that goal and you acknowledge that goal, you celebrate. And you be as goofy as you possibly want to make it, because the reality is that the more you laugh, the more you anchor it in, you want to be happy. Here's the catch. You get to 7 days, you celebrate, now you have a choice. Now the goal is to get to 28 days, right? Here's your choice. You've reached a goal. You can have a break from your goal and stop right there at 7 days. But if you have to tick off 14 days eventually. So if I have a break from my goal and I want to go away for a week or whatever it is, that's cool. But when I want to tick off the 14 days, I have to start back at day 1 again. So if I get to the end of 7 days and I want to tick off 14, I can roll them on and do another 7 days to tick off my 14 days. Does that make sense? Everyone's getting that? Otherwise, if I stop and have a break, which is totally fine because all I set out was to do 7 days, I have to start back at day 1. Now, when I start back at day 1 again, I've got to do a full 14 days. I don't get to just do 7 extra days. I've got to commit to 14. So what happens is that you compound the efforts. Now, I'm an overachiever. I do not want to start again. That annoys the crap out of me. So when I get to 7, I'm like, I only have to do 7 more to tick off 14. So of course I'm going to do 7. And then when you get to 14, it's like, I'm only going to do 7 more to get to 21. So it compounds because 7's easier than 14. That's how you got to look at everything. I can do 7 days. 7 days, I've already won. I celebrated. I did my silly little goofy dance. And then I'm going to roll it on.
And with the celebration, involve other people.
Oh, yeah.
That's a really, really important one. So I'm on sugar-free, and I said no to a cupcake today. It was a vanilla cupcake from Cupcake Queens. It's one of my favourites. And I said no to it. And when we got, and then Matt and I celebrated together, even though it was my goal, we celebrated, because when you recruit other people, it anchors it in, and you also don't know how you're inspiring them to do something too.
Exactly right. So the goal is to create a goal that's achievable and that you can do daily. So I'm not going to say, if my health goal, I'm not going to say I have to, what's a good example of that?
Run 21 Ks a day.
Run 21 kilometers a day. I'm not going to do that. It's not possible. I'm not going to do that for 28 days. It's just going to be terrible on my joints. I'd be silly to do it.
And it's too big.
Yeah. And it's not going to, it's realistically, I'm probably going to let something fall on the way there. So what we do is we find something that works. Now my goal might be to run a marathon. It could be to run an ultra marathon. It could be something like that. So maybe my goal is based around running, which is great, but it's a running goal towards it, towards that big goal at the end. So I'm breaking up these fundamentals to give me the compounding effort so that when it gets time to me doing my ultra marathon or whatever it is I'm doing, I'm ready for it. And I'm just so anchored in an easy winning system that there's no way I wouldn't achieve this big goal down the track. So the goal is, this is the winning streak. And I promise you, we've been doing this. And when we got to the end of 28 days, here's what you do now is you go, cool, I want to do another month. So you start back at 7 days to win again early. So I'm just back at the start of 7, but it's rolling into 2 months. So I don't keep adding on days. I literally just go back to the start of a new month, start at 7 days, and then start my run again. So I start to win again, and you anchor it in. Now, when you get to 3 months, like I did, I can go back and count up all the days, which sounds pretty cool when you do it that way. But the reality is I don't need to. I was just trying to win more often. So every 7 days I'm winning. Celebrate, goofy dance, goofier the better, as long as I'm laughing, I'm winning. And everything, one big goal or one small achievable daily goal you can do for each of those things: health, wealth, career, and your relationships. So those 4 goals are the keys to it all, I promise you. So if you can choose something that you can do daily towards those, your relationships improve. It doesn't have to be a relationship between us. It could be a relationship between family. There's no right, wrong with where that one goes. It's what you want to do with it daily. And maybe it's just reaching out to a family member each day. Maybe that's what your goal is, just to touch base with a text message or a call. It's totally your guidance on that you're going to do. So basically, what I would like you guys to do now, if you could, is take just maybe the next sort of couple of minutes just to choose a health goal that you could do and you'd be happy to commit to for 7 days. Okay, so take the time, and then I'm going to get you to post your goal in this thread so we can have a look at what people are looking to do. Now, it doesn't have to be crazy. It can be something simple. It may just be, I want to give up chocolate for 7 days, with the goal of one day doing it for 28. James is dogging.
You can't nominate for other people, James.
Yeah, your own goal, James, your own goal. But it's just something you want to do for you. Now, the reason I'm saying to put it in the chat is because we want accountability for it. And the accountability from someone else or from a group that supports you is what gets you through it. That's the reality of it. Now, it doesn't have to be give up chocolate. It could be something as simple as I want to puff every day. Now, most of you are doing it because of this lockout with the gym. We've got this group going, and it's awesome. It's fantastic. And that might be your goal, is to do it daily, a 4-minute challenge, whatever it is. But just to puff, get my heart rate out of breath. You're cool. So we're going to give you a couple of minutes. Going to go a bit silent, a bit weird, but just go crazy on it. And then jot it down. Get a little uncomfortable. Share it with people, and we will not judge. There's no judgment in this group. It's yours. 2 minutes. Yeah, may as well go for it.
See if I can see the chat.
We see the login that we've got.
Well, why not? I don't like silence. Can I sing? You can sing, Jamie.
Yeah,
that's why we've muted you.
So true. Yeah, but it's something you can do every day, but just for health. That's what you got to think about. A health commitment to yourself. I was doing Process Free, and then I inspired little young, he's not little, pretty big, but Noah Popplestone. He went Process Free. And I just egged him on, telling him I was at whatever, day 58 at the time, I think it was, or something like that. And he was at day like 12. But it was enough to spur him on. He goes, I'm catching you. But so he was driven by that too, just because he shared that goal with me, or I shared it with him, and then he committed to it. So that sort of stuff there. We've got Georgia, Huffy Puffy every day. I love it. And
That's
strength 3 times a week. Hope you've got some good gear there, Georgia.
So the Happy Puffy every day is a really good one because it's something you can do win every day at, whereas your 3 times a week is it's opens up a window for
because we're looking for daily compounding. So
yeah.
if you're looking for 7 days in a row, you can't do it with 3 days of strength. That's the only challenge. But your Huffy Puffy every day is what we're looking at there. So it's awesome.
Have you got one? Who else has got one? Type her in.
When you're ready.
Come on, T-Pop, surely you've got something.
I see that brain. There's the fingers typing there.
Oh, I can see. There she is. Haley, exercise-based, 1 boot camp every day and 1 2 to 3K walk every day with the kids.
Wow,
Love it.
that's
Love
really
it.
cool.
Now, what about on the weekend? We only post one weekend warrior, or we post 2. We'll post one. So we do 1 twice. Oh, run 15 minutes a day, Emma. Like it. Nah, reuse ones I've already posted. I love that, Hales. That's
awesome.
good.
Really cool.
That's really cool.
Love it.
I just want to really celebrate Haley at the moment too, because she has not missed a beat. She's been doubling up, doing 2 a day. Don't cover your face. She's been doing 2 a day since we started and like just giving it everything. It's really, really cool to
Well, we've
see.
got to celebrate properly, sure.
Let's celebrate.
Give you the better. Come on. That's it. I like it.
And Em may have seen us do this once or twice down the street too. Yeah. All right, we got anyone else's? Can anyone else share? Stratus's. Ash. Morning boot camps, exercise. So I'd love to try to do 7 days of morning booties. I like that. I love it. Cool, guys. Really cool. Cass, 1 boot camp every day and a walk on the weekend. Yes, yes, yes. Or complete the 4-minute challenge. Love it. Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah, cool. That's good.
This is good, troops. Alrighty. Wrap it up.
Who are you waiting on? Cara, I don't see your name up there. Where are you?
She looks
got
like
a goal. Yeah. Can't wait to read it.
Carrot, no chocolate for 7 days.
Oh,
We
wow.
heard it here. She did it.
I posted ours to Cassie properly.
Good work, T-Bop.
So true.
We knew the technology was just was a fluke. What the hell am I doing? God knows.
Where's yours, Mr. Rod?
And Stratus is the typing. I can see the
That's
focus face on that. Leo, 25 push-ups every morning.
Love
Yes. Noah, process-free restart. Love it. What about you, Nat? You've dubbed Noah. You've dubbed Leo in. Oh, Dean, 30 push-ups a day. Leo, can you raise your 25 to 30? I like it. It's competitive now. Boot camp, 5 days, run of the weekend. Yes, Lucy Hawks.
Oh, nice, Lucy.
Every day, this is good. It's an auction, it is. 25 push-ups going once, 30 push-ups to Dean Popplestone. Can I hear 35?
Leo didn't think.
He's typing. Nat still hasn't put hers in yet. She handballed that one. Teapot, water, 2 litres minimum per day. Yes. Leo, 35 push-ups. 1 minute playing in between.
Awesome. Guys, thank you for doing that part of it anyway, because the reality is that without 36 for Dean.
36 for Dean.
Perfect.
Love it.
I'll let you guys chip away at each other then.
So the most important part of setting a goal is taking immediate action.
Yeah.
This is immediate action. There's no point thinking on it for 24 hours. The way to really sink it in and to make it a success is you got to get onto it straight away.
Yeah.
And you guys have done that, so really proud of you. Well done.
Yeah, it's easy. And so what we're going to do is this thing that Sharon is sharing now, she just drafted it up. So she's going to make it accessible for you guys. I think she's going to put it in the file.
Yeah.
In the file section on this FBFM homepage. So you guys will be able to print that off and use it. You don't have to, obviously you can just write it in a diary and tick each day as you go by. But the power of it is ticking it off, like achieving that. You can see, I'm only 2 days away, and you're just about to make that bad decision. You're like, well, I'm 2 days away from ticking that goal. I'll sacrifice the decision and tick those goals off. And so you win more often. Get to 7, you have a choice. You can have a break, or you roll it over and do the next 7 to make 14. I promise you, if you commit to the 14, because eventually you'll have to do the 14, and you'll have to do the 21, you have to do the 28. So Kara's goal of chocolate for 7 days, she's actually committing to 28 days. All of you are. You don't realize that. But whether she does them all in a row now, or she does 7, has a break, and then does another 14, or maybe does the full 28. But she'll build that muscle up over time to do that properly. So that's the goal with it all, guys. You can do 7, have a break, which is what we're saying is perfectly okay. You have not failed. You've ticked your goal. But the rollover is what you're looking to do. Or you just start again when you're ready. It might be a week from now, 2 weeks from now, and then you do a full 14 days again to tick that next one. Like I said, I'm an overachiever. I'm not going to wait a week between. I just need to roll them on to get it done. And when you're at 28 days, I promise you, you're at a different point where you actually want to reset that goal or retweak the goal. Because when you get to the end of 28 days, what happens then is you're actually going to add some rules around it. So say Kara's is no chocolate, and she does, I'm just using yours, Kara, sorry, because it's the easiest one I can remember. She does the full 28 days. She celebrates every week. You know, she's done the whole thing. She's really happy. Now she can put a rule in. She might go, cool, well, I like chocolate still. What I might do is I might reward myself on day 7 when I do another 7 days free or something like that, or something like that. So she can add a rule where she can reward herself, or I've got a party coming up this week and I want to be able to have chocolate cake at that party. So I'll allow myself to have that chocolate cake.
For example, I'm on sugar free, and then after my first 28 days, I added in the clause that if I was at a special occasion, that I could choose to have 1 piece of sugar. So if I was at a birthday, I could have a slice of birthday cake if I wanted to. But I also have the choice to say no still too. And we celebrate that when I do, but I do have that option to do that.
Yeah, cool. And that's a really cool thing. So it's super simple, guys. That is, I promise you, if you can compound little efforts over time, they become big results at the other end. And that's how you do it. That's how I went 3 months process free. And then I just retweaked the goal, refocused the goal, and then forward direction of what I want to do with it now.
Yeah.
And so at the start, it's always a bit tricky because you're cutting an old habit that you used to have. But what I realized, I'll give you the reason behind why I did the process free, is because at the end of last year, when it finished, I found all I was doing was eating processed crap the whole time. And it would be little things like I'd hear a packet rustle and I'd be like excited that something's there. And I thought, wow, that's pretty crazy. And I caught the end of that sugar film and I realized just how much I was actually addicted to sugar and to packaged foods. So I made a decision. I didn't want food to be in control of me. I wanted to be in control of choosing my food. And so I made that decision on that day to commit for 7 days. I didn't commit for 3 months. I just committed for 7 days, got to 7, celebrated, and then I rolled it to 14. And then it was 21, then it was 28. And then I just compounded the effort. And I held it true to the whole thing. So you can do the same thing. This is just an easy strategy to win more. And you can do it in those 4 areas: health, wealth, career, and your relationships. And I promise you, if you take the time to choose something you can do compound every day. And wealth is a good one at the moment because, people are losing jobs. They're doing all this sort of stuff there. An easy thing might be just to watch your spending. I'll limit myself to 1 coffee a day instead of 2. That's $20 at the end of the week. It's still a wealthy choice. Easy.
All right, we're going to open up to any questions or anything like that. Can you wave at us so I can unmute you if you have a question? Anything like that? Does anyone have a question? Oh God, Jamie, you make me nervous when I don't know why. Hang on. Unmute. There you go. You got the floor.
Yay! Proud Mary, keep on burning, rolling. Sorry, guys, had to.
Really wanted to do this thing.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Definitely you again.
He's been hanging out for.
Is anyone waving? Anyone want to?
You can just type it in if you don't want to talk.
There's too many screens still. I reckon we're good then.
Easy.
T-Pop, amongst that yawn, do you have anything to add in?
She's in the zone.
She's tuned me out.
Easy, guys. Well, take that time. In 7 days from now, we've got all the people on this chat now. we're going to contact you in 7 days and see if you were able to stick true. Now, the key to doing this, the reason that people should do it, is it's about honoring what you tell yourself you're going to do. That's the key to it all. Because so often we set a goal and we don't achieve it. And all we're saying to ourselves deep down is that, oh, we didn't achieve it, we failed. That's what you're saying to yourself. You didn't commit to your goal. But if you do 7 days and you tick that off, you committed to something. You said, I'm going to do something, and you did it.
And you start to trust yourself. So it comes back to trust.
That's it. You've got to build the trust back up in your own self when you say you're going to do something. And we're all guilty of it. I'm definitely guilty of it. I say I'm going to do something, don't go and do it. And then all I'm saying to myself, though, is I'm lying to myself, saying, oh, I was going to do it, but I made a reason why I couldn't. So then all I'm doing is lying to the one person I should definitely not lie to, is myself. Crazy.
All right, I'm going to cut him off unless anyone else has anything
I've
to
done
say.
really good. That's 30 minutes.
Yeah, but you wanted 15 or 20.
Yeah, you chimed in. You kept
Lord help me. Anything else? We're good? We're good? Nah, we're awesome. You guys rock. Thank you guys so much.
You had 7 days. Tick those boxes.
I look forward to seeing your celebration dances too. So,
Oh, yeah, you've got to have those too.
Proud Mary, keep on running.
The goofier the better, remember?
All right, you guys are awesome.
Thank you.
Rock and roll. Thank you guys so much. Mwah, we love you.